Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, Chicago psychic and intuitive consultant. And I'm really happy. We've got Kevin Chandler of Kevin's Loving Vibrations Tarot, and we've got Deanne Kuski of Deanne's Shield Maiden Tarot. So yay, welcome.
Yeah, we're in good company tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so Kevin, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
You can send me an email at kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. I do have that on my YouTube channel in my About section, and I put my email in all my description boxes of my videos.
So everybody go to Kevin's channel and hit the subscribe button.
Yes, please.
Okay, Deanne, how do they get a hold of you?
It's Deanne's Shield Maiden at gmail.com. So Deanne's Shield Maiden Tarot, pardon me. Deanne's Shield Maiden Tarot at gmail.com. There's an S at the end. And they can go to my page and the same thing. They can go to the About and it will be there, or the description page, and I'll have my email listed.
So everybody look at Deanne's channel and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
I've reached 15,000 subscribers. So on Monday,
Awesome.
I'll announce the winners, the 3 free half-hour sessions. And when I get to 16,000, I'll give away another 3 free half-hour sessions. That's hard to say. All right. So if you want to get a hold of me, you can call my office at 847-590-5411. Okay. I'll put all that down below. Okay. So we got a lot of questions. Are we ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay. So Jillian Faring asked, good morning, Mel. I posted this morning that you guys were going to be on the show. She said, I hope nice weather is on the way to you. I'm in Southern Illinois and it's extremely windy. Well, like the politicians here in Chicago. Okay. Question. In 3 to 5 years, will the same Trump be talked about?
In 3 to 5 years, will Trump be talked about?
The same. Well, oh, I'm sorry. In 3 to 5 years, will the name Trump be talked about? I'm sorry.
I just pick up intuitively that that family in 3 to 5 years is going to lose everything, and all their assets will be seized. I don't know if the former guy will be still with us on this planet in 3 to 5 years, but I think at that point he'll be irrelevant. There'll still be crazies out there, but I'm sure there'll be somebody else eating that.
Yeah, he's going to be talked about probably because he is going to be remembered as probably the worst president we've ever had, And I did pull a few cards. I got the Emperor losing his money and having to walk away and surrender, and justice being done.
Okay. So somebody sent me this deck of cards. Donna McDonald wrote them, and they were illustrated by Susan Andra. I think it's Leon or Lion, and it's called Messages from Dog. Isn't that cool?
Oh, nice.
I love it.
And I'll put that down below. So thanks so much. Everybody should get buy a pack of the deck of these. They are so cool. And if you want to get the cards, you can go to www.animalconsciousness. Consciousness, animal consciousness. That's a word animal, and then consciousness, consciousness.com, animalconsciousness.com. So I looked at these, they're so cool. So when I looked about, will Trump's name be mentioned in 3 to 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking in the back of my head, would he be indicted? And why is it taking so long? I pulled this card. It says, have patience, think it through before you act. So I think that's what the DOJ is doing. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I got the hangman in reverse. So they're in suspension right now. It's going to happen, but right now they just uncertainty. They're trying to get more information.
Yeah, I mean, so I think, in 3 to 5 years, will his name be talked about? Yes, it will. And I do see that his empire is going to crumble.
Mhm.
Nothing worse than an aging dictator. Hello, Putin, and hello, Trump. But what's going to be talked about with him about him is not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when Hitler had his demise, the people that supported Hitler still kind of did, but they ran to the woodwork, and it was hush hush. And so the people that supported Trump won't be saying anything, but yet those of us who didn't are going to just say that we can never let this happen again.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it ain't going to be pretty. He ain't going to go
I think
out.
in that amount of time, he'll be irrelevant, though. I mean,
I
yeah,
think
sure,
so.
people will talk about him, but it'll probably, like you both were saying, it's going to be in a negative sense.
Yeah, he'll lose his money, he'll lose his power, his prestige, you know, he's going to be in a lot of trouble, lawsuits coming from every direction. If he's even around in 3 to 5 years, I hate to say, with the way.
I don't see a long life for him either. So
I don't either. I just think he's going to go into more mental decline, and then, you know, from all this stuff, and then I don't know, the way he eats with his anger, all that evil.
how
that's
can he
still
go
in
into
him.
more mental decline? I mean, he already is.
I know,
Right.
right?
Anyway.
But he passed his test. What was it? TV man, woman.
Yeah.
This is from Sweetie Darling Lulu. I
Mhm.
love that name.
Hmm.
Okay. Chechnyan Republic, the guy's name was Ramzan Kadyrov, who was Putin's ally in the invasion of Ukraine. Will he be also investigated for war crimes? What does the future look like? Chechens are they committing war atrocities? And then it says, Slava Ukraini, it must be long live Ukraine. I do see Kadyrov being investigated for war crimes and being held guilty of war crimes.
Yeah.
But I also think that some Chechens will help the Ukrainians as well as some Russian soldiers will help the Ukrainians, and some from Belarus. You know, people, when I see on the news that Putin is pulling back from Kiev, and I think another city, they're thinking that's good, but he's just regrouping.
Yeah.
And so this war is going to last quite a while. But yes, I see that Ramzan Kadyrov is going to be found guilty of war crimes. Absolutely.
Well, I got yes, it's positive that he will. This usually stands for, I shouldn't say an S storm, you know, SHI blank storm, that he's going to be going through with the law about lies he told regarding, and a lot of it has regarding money too.
Okay.
So
What
that's
do you
what I
think?
got. So yeah.
Yeah, I heard yes that he would be charged with war crimes as well.
Yeah, and like I said, some of it is money, but yeah, my pendulum said yes about the war crimes.
Okay. This is for nuts for art. I like that. Nuts for art. Okay, Kevin, we'll start this one with you.
Sure.
When will we return to a time of not being threatened with nuclear or civil war?
Well, I don't see nuclear war at all. I haven't felt that at all with you know, the Russia and Ukraine situation, or us getting involved in it being another world war. I haven't felt that. With all the infighting in our own country, I think it's going to probably be about a 5-year period before things really start to get a lot better. It's going to start getting better after the midterms, I feel, because I've said this before. I feel that the Republicans are going to lose, and a lot of them are going to start breaking away from Trump. You'll still have some of the crazies out there that promote, you know, all the conspiracy theories and all of that. And that will probably go on for, I feel like probably like 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay, let's see. Okay. What do you think, Deanne?
Okay, repeat that question again. I want to make sure I heard you right.
When will we return to a time of not being threatened with nuclear or civil war?
Well, I got with the pendulum with that it may be always some sort of threat in the future. You know, they're not getting rid of them. They're powerless. They got the chariot in reverse. So, you know, they have a lack of direction. There's a lot of worrying about, they're worried if they don't have them that somebody else will use them. But I think there will be temperance. There will be more balance. I think we will have peace. I think they will still have them. But I feel like we're going to overcome some things. I got the three of swords. So we're going to overcome some things. So I'm
Hopefully
not
the
sure the
racism-
amount of time, though. I feel like it's always might be a threat.
Hopefully we'll overcome some of the racism and fascism that's going on.
I hope so.
You know, I remember growing up, and I was during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we became this close to thermonuclear war. And I remember this, I told this story on many times, but I'll tell it again. The sirens going off when we were in school, and we'd have to get out in the hallway and duck and cover. You know, that was a biggie. The commercials, if you see a bright flash, like an atomic flash, duck and cover. Yeah, and I was like, and get incinerated, okay? But anyway, the sirens went off, and one day I just refused to do it. And so they, in those days, you'd get hit in school and then got smacked. You better get in that highway now. I'm like, no. And they called my dad. And my dad always told us, if you get hit at school, you'll get it when you get home. So,
Mine too.
but they said, your son won't go in the hallway in the nuclear disaster drill. And my father said, why won't you? I said, because Dad, if they drop those kind of bombs, nobody's going to live anyway. And so I just remember the earliest parts of my life being so fearful. And I remember at the very heart of the Cuban Missile Crisis, one day they let school out early, really early. And my father and my mother came to pick my sister and I up. My sister and I went to the same grade school. And he had this old Ford car and it was packed. And I said, Dad, where are we going? And he said, we're going to go to the country because if the bombs fall, they're not going to fall in the country, they'll fall in the city. They won't waste a bomb on the countryside. And in those days, that was before intercontinental ballistic missiles. And my father had been in World War II. So I remember going to my aunt's house and we stayed there for like 5 days until, you know, that whole thing blew over, but it was really tense and frightened. I'll never forget. That's as frightened as I was. So I kind of grew up with the threat of nuclear annihilation.
You're probably around my husband's age. He had to do the same thing. He
Correct.
remembers the same thing hiding under the desk.
So, you know, I think this country is kind of already in a bloodless civil war, and it's just fueled by the ultra-right Trumplicans. And I see a lot more people protesting in the streets, and unfortunately, things getting violent here. That's unfortunate. But ultimately, I do not think that fascist element will win out. So, but the battle's not over, far from over.
Do you feel, Mel, when Fox News gets hit with all of these lawsuits and they start becoming more moderate and actually not push all these conspiracy theories, do you think that that's going to help? I mean, I think that there's always going to be crazies out there, but, you know, and conspiracy theorists, but I mean, a lot of their news that they get is, you know, from Fox News and Facebook, you know.
Well, I do think with social media and certain news organizations whose names I won't mention, there is going to be a lot more accountability. And I do see certain news organizations, if you can call it that, getting lawsuits for slander, for lying, for, you know, creating fuel for the insurrection. And so some of those people, a lot more people on that network, I see investigated and under indictment. I think one of the producers already was because of dealing with Russia or something. And I think when Rupert Murdoch dies, you know, I think one of his sons is like him, but the other one isn't. So I think at some point, with all the lawsuits and the money being paid out and this and that, at least I see them becoming more in the middle.
Yeah.
But it's a while off yet. Okay. Meanwhile, you know, I think with nuclear threat, Putin probably would use a tactical nuclear weapon, a very small kiloton one, in somewhere if he had to. So until we get rid of nuclear weapons, I'm talking about the world.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a threat of that.
That is.
At some point, I hope people just get their heads together and say, look, if there's a nuclear war, nobody wins.
Right.
So, and she also asked about, is it pronounced MAGA? M-A-G-A?
MAGA?
MAGA. Yeah, MAGA. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. MAGA. She wants to know if they'll continue infiltrating the government. Yes, I do see that. And they're going to try to infiltrate school boards and all of that, as evidenced by what's going on in Florida. But ultimately, they won't win either. So, Kevin, I think you're right. I think within 3 to 5 years, the MAGAs will be kind of phased.
They're going to go back into their caves.
Right.
I got the card here, Queen of Pentacles, underground.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna try to hide. They're not gonna want to be admitting they were a Trump supporter.
Well, that's kind of cowardice, isn't it? All right. All righty. So, yeah, Tanya Owen, do we see Brett Kavanaugh leaving the Supreme Court in the near future?
Yes,
I see him
I
off
do.
the court, but not in the near future.
I do.
Yeah,
see
I
him
think
off
it's going to
the
be a
court.
couple of years.
Let me ask. I get about 3 years.
Yeah, I was feeling like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
What's scary to me is when I hear Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, well, if we take over the Senate, we ain't going to put any of them leftists on the court. It's like,
I said
oh, you're going to
socialist.
hold a nomination for 2 years,
Yeah.
and then they complain about, Judge Brown. And I saw her confirmation hearing, and oh my God, it was like she was put on trial. But yet they let Kavanaugh, who was accused of doing that to that lady, Christine Blasey Ford, and they don't say anything about that.
And all he said was, I like beer.
It blows me away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and because the FBI under when Trump was in office, there was a whole bunch of people that reached out saying that they had stories against Brett Kavanaugh, and the FBI didn't vet those or check into those. And
Right.
more is going to come out about that.
A lot.
I think so too.
A lot more. We can't have those liberals on the court. We got to have middle of the road. Oh, please.
Wonder if he got invited to those parties Cawthorn was talking about.
I'm sure he did, and I'm sure that happened. The other thing is when I heard when I heard Matt Gaetz, like he's going off, on his tirades, and I don't see where, when the repubes were questioning Ketanji Brown, like that she was soft on sentencing people convicted of porn and all that stuff, or childhood porn.
Yeah.
She really wasn't. But I thought to myself, how hypocritical. You guys have Matt Gaetz in the House of Representatives who's being investigated for going to bed with a minor, and you have the gall to ask her that question. It's just the hypocrisy blows me away.
I know. And wasn't she hired as a...
They're just trying to rally their base.
They are.
Yeah.
Sorry, Deanne.
What is the attorney where they're free? They do it pro bono. I think she did that for those people that, they're accusing her of being easy on.
Right.
She was their attorney. We're all entitled to have somebody
We're
as a
all
defense.
entitled. That's right. But ultimately, I do see Brett Kavanaugh off the court. You're right.
I do too.
But it just rubbed me the wrong way when I'm like, oh, let's see how this works. So if the Republicans take over the Senate, you're going to hold a nomination for the Supreme Court for 2.5 years until you think you can get more Republicans in office. Wrong.
Mhm.
If a Democrat did that, they would be screaming impeachment.
Right.
So
I don't see it working out for McConnell and all that. I do feel another more progressive justice coming in, I think, here soon.
I do too.
I think around midterm time, actually.
I
I think Clarence Thomas is going to leave around the midterms.
That's why Clarence Thomas is not leaving the court. He's afraid if he does, then what's going to happen after the midterms?
Yeah.
But, with the gas prices high, inflation, typically the midterms are a referendum, like a report card on the job the current president is doing.
Yeah.
Like if you remember when Trump was president, after 2 years, the Democrats took back over the House and the Senate. So a lot of people are nervous because of the economy and the gas prices that we might end up losing the House or the Senate. But here's what I see. I think right before the midterms, they're gonna give a really big relief package again. And I think that'll help.
Yeah,
Huge.
I think so too.
I see them doing something with the student loans too, right before midterms.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a complete write-off, but there'll be some relief with the student loans. And I also think, so the student loans, I think is going to get a lot of young people out to vote. And I also think that with all the stuff that comes out from this January 6th, and even people in Congress that were helping with that and involved in that, that is all going to start coming out and really ramping up in the summertime, and it's not going to be a good look for the Republicans. And that's why I said too, it would be kind of historic for the Democrats to keep control in midterm elections. It usually goes to the opposite party. And the Republicans will then realize, Trump is a loser as the head of our party.
I see something, Kevin, you said it was quite a while ago, that you see the Republican Party split, and I do too. I think, some of the order Republicans like Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, who I don't like their politics, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
I see them, a lot of Republicans behind closed doors don't like Trump. They're just afraid to go against him. So,
right.
Anyway.
Who is that radio show host that he's always talking about Trump, big guy and stuff? Anyway, I can't think of his name right now. He's famous, but he was talking about how he hated Trump. He can't stand him. He was a whole thing. He got caught saying he doesn't like him, but he said, I make millions of dollars lying to his base. And they talked about how stupid his base was in the background. There was a whole article about it. I can't think
Alex
of that
Jones.
guy's name. Huh?
Alex Jones, is that his name?
Yep.
Mitch McConnell doesn't like Trump either, but then,
No.
Mitch McConnell, I think what I see ultimately, and it's going to take a while, like Mitch McConnell and the obstructionists in the Republican Party, the Democrats need to play some of their games. Oh my God.
Yeah.
If the Democrats did the Republicans, what the Republicans did to the Democrats, the Republicans would be screaming forever.
Yeah.
But I think, the obstructionism, my guide showed me the obstructionism in the Republican Party, like with Mitch McConnell and all that stuff, will come to an end at some point.
Yeah.
A lot sooner than later, thank goodness.
There'll be a lot more bipartisan, working together. I feel like probably in like 2-3 years.
That's what I think. Okay. But I want to say hello to Patricia Oliveira in the UK, United Kingdom. So hello, Patricia. Okay.
Wow.
This is the good one. I'm going to give it to both of you.
Okay.
Linda Werner asks, will Elon Musk let Trump back on Twitter?
Elon Musk. Let Trump.
He bought.
Yeah.
Deanne was on my channel on Tuesday, and we read about Elon Musk buying a bunch of shares in
He did.
Twitter.
9%.
I don't see him allowing it, but I do think that Elon Musk is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I don't think he's going to stay in Twitter stocks for very long.
See, I don't see him staying on Twitter long either.
Mhm.
And I think he's going to try to get on their board of directors, but he only bought 9% of the shares, which makes him the largest shareholder. But if all the other shareholders get together and vote, then that kind of clips his wings, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the 5 of Wands flew out when I read on it before, and that's just kind of like a tug of war match, rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I ultimately don't see him in there for very long.
No. No, he got the 3 of Wands, so he's looking, he's looking past that. He's not going to allow that. And he also got the letting go of stress. So I think he's letting go of Trump. They're not going to let him back on there. Moving forward.
I did some other cards,
Gavin.
I pulled the 4 of spades. And that would mean like people are going to start to look at him with a lot of suspicion. He's going to lose a lot of his popularity. You know, why did he do that? Because he's talking about freedom of speech. But I don't see Trump's account being reinstated. I mean,
No.
because there's some legal issues going on, at least my guides tell me, that, you know, you can't, there's freedom of speech, but yet you cannot allow someone or aid them in helping in an insurrection to overthrow the government.
Right.
No.
So,
yeah, he's not getting back on.
and certain people on a certain network, Kevin, that you mentioned, are also going to be under investigation for that.
Yep.
My guide showed me. So, all right, this is from DS. Hello, Kevin, Mel, and Deanne. If electric vehicles will become the norm, do you have insight how much charging them will cost? The cost of electricity has already increased, and curious if charging electric vehicles will actually be affordable and less than gas or more. Thanks. That's a good question, actually.
So
Yeah.
what is the question? You want to know, are they going to be expensive?
DS asked, like with electric cars becoming the norm, how much charging them will it cost, because the cost of electricity has already increased. And DS is curious if charging electric vehicles will actually be more affordable and less than gas or more.
I think it'll be more.
I see them being a lot more affordable. I think when they start rolling, well, they're already starting to roll out electric cars. Now they're pretty pricey. I do see the government stepping in and you know, making them more affordable in a few years. But I think too that we're going to have a lot of like upgrades in our batteries where they can get a lot smaller and are a lot more powerful, can keep that charge a lot longer. And I think it's going to be a lot more affordable than gas.
I saw that too, like huge steps forward in battery technology.
Yes.
So smaller batteries with more power that can go longer. So breakthroughs in battery technology. The problem is, my guides tell me, is that the charging stations for the electric vehicles have to have generators. And what powers those generators? Like diesel or gas. And so they're going to have to find an efficient way to power the generators to generate the electricity to charge the cars.
Yeah, but I think they will. They're going to have, I got the 7 of Cups, so they're going to have a lot of different options, you know, a lot of different options over time and different types of cars. I think at the beginning it might be a little bit hard, but it'll kind of slowly, people will start trading in their cars and then, you know, later all the cars are going to be electric. I almost bought me a Prius. I thought it's so nice, you know, because you use half the amount of gas.
Well, what I see coming would be tax breaks for people who buy electric cars.
Yes.
And so I don't think the price of charging a vehicle is ever going to be, you know, what we pay for gasoline prices.
No.
And so, and
I thought that
I see the prices coming down. I see the prices of electric vehicles coming way down.
I do too.
I felt the government would step in to make those cars a lot more affordable. It could be like tax breaks or write-offs.
That's what I feel too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Regina O'Flaherty asks, hi, Mel. Hi, Regina. Is Ginny Thomas going to get some serious charges against her because of her email and involvement with the insurrection? And will her best friend, I mean, her husband, be forced to resign from the Supreme Court?
Yes and yes. I think she's going to get some charges.
Kevin, what do you see?
I don't know if intuitively I'm picking up charges, but I definitely see a lot of investigations into her, a lot more information coming out, and her being more publicly scrutinized.
Yeah.
Well, she did lie about being there, but she didn't lie to the government.
Right.
I mean, I got a feeling they're going to call her to testify. Go ahead.
Yes, I do
Go
too.
ahead,
Oh,
Deanne.
I just got the Hierophant. There's going to be, like he said, the investigations. And then I got the Nine of Wands in reverse. So I believe her husband is going to end up stepping down and withdrawing. He's going to have to, because there's going to be some truth that's going to come in about her. So, and yeah, they're gonna overcome. She may overcome. The pendulum said yes, that she was gonna get in trouble, but she may overcome it here if he steps down. I think he's gonna have to step down. I don't know if it's gonna be because of health reasons he's gonna say, because he has had some health problems, but I don't see him staying on.
Well, I think
It's
he'll probably say it's due to health reasons, but
I do too.
if there's any good thing that comes out of it, my guides tell me that there's going to be guidelines now for Supreme
Mhm.
Court justices that they have to follow.
Yeah.
So if someone around them, like a spouse or something like that, is involved in something like this, and there's a case that comes to the Supreme Court, then that justice would have to recuse himself or herself from that case. So that's
Shocking he
what I
didn't.
see coming down, because there's no rules for them. There's
Right.
none.
No.
So anyway, but I see Ginny Thomas being called in to testify, and she'd better cooperate, because it's weird. I see her charged, but I don't see her going to jail.
Yeah.
But unless they'll just make an offer with her behind the scenes, say, tell us what you know.
I think that's it, because I'm getting that the pendulum saying yes, she'll be charged, but the cards are saying that he'll have to step down. So I'm thinking it may be a deal, like you said. Your
But the
husband
DOJ
steps
has
down.
been investigating Trump and this whole insurrection thing behind closed doors for a long time. They've done a good job of keeping it secret. My guide showed me that a long time ago, like Merrick Garland behind closed Garland whispering, and he was like, that to me meant that they're keeping what they're investigating really secret. And
Yes.
I'm surprised it didn't leak, but it's starting to come out a little bit more. So there's a
Do you
lot.
feel like it's strategic, Mel? Like they want to do it closer to midterms and release more information closer to midterms?
Well, if that happens, they're going to say it's political.
They
But
will.
I do think that in the summer, there's late spring, summer, there's blockbuster stuff that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I get May and June. I keep getting May and June is going to be a whole lot of stuff coming out. We're going to find a lot of stuff.
Oh, this is a really good one. Okay. Just Ann. Okay. Hi, Mel and Kevin and Deanne. Wondering about the Supreme Court recent attack on the Clean Water Act. Will water ever be treated as a human right, or will it be completely commodified and privatized? I see at some point it will be treated as a right for everybody to have clean water. And so the Supreme Court might have attacked the Clean Water Act, but at some point, I see legislation, once the court changes, to say, wait a minute, you can't foul our waterways. You can't rape the waterways any longer, and let's clean them up.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that they're going to allow it to be privatized. I think it's going to be under really strict government regulation. That's what my guides show me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Clean Water Act is. I haven't heard of that. But I agree with you, Mel, that there's going to be a lot more guidelines in there to, make sure that the water is clean and that, water is a right, like you were saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna get the tower moment. They're gonna have to rebuild things. They're gonna have to redo that, because they're just gonna have to. It's just gonna have to be started from the foundation up, because there's a lot of people that have gotten sick from that, and there's going to be a lot of, so they're going to have to move forward. They're going to have to move forward with the clean drinking, and they're going to heal from that, and they're going to have some people helping with that. So yes.
Okay, Deanne, you brought up something before we started. You brought up Ivanka's testimony, and I heard on TV that she didn't even plead the fifth. She really told them essentially what she knew. So 2 questions come to mind. One, what repercussions do you all see that has with Cheeto Head, her father? And 2, what repercussions will that have for her?
Okay.
Well, I'll just say, when I saw on the news, it was Tuesday or Wednesday, that she was testifying. All of us have been saying this for the longest time,
Yeah.
that we felt that Ivanka is going to betray her father, and that was going to be the one that really hurt and really what takes him down. And so I felt that, when she was going to testify and I saw that, I felt like she wasn't going to, claim executive privilege. I felt like she was going to tell them quite a bit of information. I think she was probably a little, careful with what she said. I don't think she revealed everything, but I do think that her father was not very happy that she did that, especially, voluntarily.
And my guides tell me she told the truth, because God forbid she should have
Yeah.
lied. Then they're going to get her for lying to Congress
Mhm.
or obstruction.
Her and her husband both did.
Yes. they did.
I got the Knight of Cups.
I feel like-
Sorry, Kev, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, I just got that she got the Knight of Cups. She's very charming. She used her charm. She was, Daddy made me do it, and I didn't know, and played innocent with everything. She's worried about the losing all the money that she's lost, losing her reputation and her brand. And so she went to the law, and she's hoping to be able to move forward and not have to go to jail. She did get the Page of Cups, so she's been apologizing for her part in it, and I have a feeling that she didn't tell him everything. I don't think either one of them did, but I think that they did tell him, like, I think they squealed on Giuliani, on what's that tall lady, the Kraken. Those people were the ones who tried to talk Trump into it, and then he went all head first. So they're going to try to blame them, but I think that it doesn't matter. Trump's going to be in trouble either way. So, but I don't think they told him everything, but they're trying to look like the good guys. And I think that, I don't know if Trump's going to go to jail. Like I said, I keep seeing him. I told you what I keep seeing. And with her, I got a feeling I don't know, I hate to say it, I got a feeling she's going to get out of it. At the most, she would get house arrest, but I don't even know if she'll get that.
Well, I think she'll cooperate with them more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she won't get house arrest.
so will Kushner. But I think the most incriminating thing were those emails that Jenny Thomas sent to Mark Meadows, I think, or Meadow, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is go all the way up to Trump. That's what they're trying to do. And my feeling is they'll succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they worry, though, if they indict Trump, I think they're so scared of his base, and them starting another riot or civil war, they keep threatening civil war. That won't happen.
Well,
But
at some point they'll get over their fear and do their jobs.
yes.
Yep.
That's what
Yes.
Okay.
I was picking up too, real quick, if I can say this, Mel.
Yep. go ahead.
I feel like Ivanka and Jared have both kind of turned their back on Trump. Like, they haven't been talking with him for quite a
Yeah.
while. So I do think that they cooperated. I've never seen Trump in jail. I agree with Deanne and what we said earlier. He probably doesn't have a long life left to him. And I've always felt like he might get away with it. Not get away with it, but, claim his mental decline and all that and get out of jail, but maybe go to a facility.
That's what I
Ivanka,
did.
I've never seen going to jail. I think she just, by the grace of everything, gets out of it probably
Yeah.
from her cooperation.
Don Jr. might go to jail, though,
Yeah, I see that.
but I don't see her
There'll be
or
some
her father.
indictments there for sure. There'll be some indictments against Don Jr. for sure.
I think so, too, and Matt Gaetz, too.
Even Kushner, I think he's going to get in trouble for other things.
Matt Gaetz
Kushner.
clearly indicted. Absolutely.
Mhm.
What was the guy's name who
Yep.
put his arm up, when the insurrectionists were going through there? What is his name?
Josh
Oh,
Hawley.
Holly.
Holly. I think he's going to be in big trouble, too.
Yeah, I said that right from the get-go. My guides show me.
Mhm.
My guides show me that Gaetz is going to be indicted and spend time in jail.
I think so, too. I got that when I did a reading months ago.
And his family's money won't be able to buy him out. So
Nope.
And DeSantis is going to get in trouble because I feel like he interfered in that investigation against Gaetz. he's related to that case somehow, and more is going to come out about that.
That will. Yeah, I never thought of that, but that just hit me absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you another one's going to be gone is Abbott in Texas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rebecca Davis asks, thanks for the heads up, Mel. Okay. Question. Do you or any of your guests see the United Nations stepping up and sending in UN peacekeeping forces as was done in Serbia when Bill Clinton was our president? Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
If there's a UN peacekeeping force, I don't see it right away.
I don't
Maybe when the
either.
war is over.
Yeah.
But when the UN was sent in during the whole Serbo-Croatian conflict,
Uh-huh.
I hate to say it, but the UN didn't really. I mean, there was a certain place in Bosnia Herzegovina, and I forget the name of the town, where there were these men and boys in the town that were all rounded up and executed. There were like 3,000 of them that were murdered, and that was clearly genocide. And so the United Nations was there, and I don't know why they didn't do more, but I'm just not seeing any significant amount of UN peacekeeping people in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
Well, I got the Six of Pentacles, which is charity and gifts and generosity, and the Page of Wands going forward being good news. And so maybe it will happen, but like you said, it may not be right away.
Okay.
After it's over.
So hello to Myra Colon. Hi, Myra. Okay, Dusty Rose. Has Matt G given information on DeSantis? And then on Trump. Are anyone related to Jeffrey Epstein's or G. Maxwell's sex trafficking? And she says, Dusty Rose says, love Kevin. And then she puts you two, of course.
Interesting. I just brought that up. I saw a connection between them. I don't think Gaetz has given up any information on Trump or DeSantis.
So
I get
he
for
may in the future, maybe to try to,
if anything,
get out of trouble. But
somebody that's been arrested, I forget the guy's name that they arrested that was friends with Matt Gaetz. Is it Epstein? I forget who it was, but they're gonna give information against Matt Gaetz.
Yeah. It's interesting because I felt like last summer, when they were talking about, Matt Gaetz, I think they were talking about it before that. I was picking up that he was really nervous, and I felt like they were about to make a move, to indict him and, start the proceedings. And then something stalled that. And I think I figured out that it was, getting in the way and trying to obstruct that investigation. More is going to come out about it. I do see Gaetz being indicted, and I think he's going to spend some time in jail too.
Good. Then he can answer yes or no questions.
Yeah.
Those orange sliders.
Yeah, I think he's gonna tell on.
Orange pop.
There you go.
I see orange around Matt. Here's the orange. I'm very.
I don't think he's done it yet, but I think he will, because I got the justice card, because there is going to be some card of justice. And I think Trump's going to feel backstabbed. And it's got the, what is this, the High Priestess in reverse. So there's going to be some revealed secrets. So I don't think he has yet, but I think if it gets him out of jail, if he can get less jail time by giving information, he will. I don't think any of them are loyal, really.
All right. Cynthia D'Alessandro asked, she said, love your readings. Thank you. I was wondering if you all can look into the future and see if America's immigration problems and bad attitudes about immigrants will be fixed anytime soon. We are a country of immigrants after all. The former guy turned this into a hateful issue. Breaks my heart. Well, I think, the crisis at our own border with kids taken away from their parents, that's horrific.
Yeah.
And I see many of those kids being reunited and adopted, thank goodness. Should never happen in the first place, but my guides show me that they will be reunited and adopted. And my guides also show me in the future complete inquiries and investigations as to how that happened to keep it from happening again. I had a conversation with a client of mine today, and she said that she liked Cheeto Head. And I go, well, I strenuously disagree. I can't stand him. And she said, but he was a good leader. And I go, really? You mean a bully? And she said, he kept our borders safe. I go, from what? You know, we don't have people invading our borders. Oh, you mean from Canadians? I just wonder if we were bordered to the south by another country like Canada, and they were coming here doing work, wonder what those ultra-right repubes would have to say about that. Probably nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, Trump vilified Mexicans when he was running for office. He vilified. And so, unfortunately, it's going to be a long time before racism and fascism goes away.
I think so too. It's always been. As long as there's two people on the planet, there'll be somebody fighting with somebody over,
But a lot of those senators who like, oh, we got to stem immigration coming in through Mexico. There's no terrorists that came in through Mexico, but yet many of them hired illegal immigrants to work as domestics.
all the time, and they don't have to pay them well, and then they can threaten them anytime they don't do what they say. Oh, I'll deport you.
Essentially, what's going on in this country with that whole issue is really a form of slavery.
It is
about it, and I see that ending good.
Yeah.
Because at some point it's going to be, if you're an immigrant in this country and you're working, you're entitled to minimum wage. You get no more of the. And I hear some of these bigots say, well, they take our jobs. Excuse me, when is the last time that you saw one of those bigots clean a toilet?
I know.
Right.
Or the farmers.
Work in a field.
Correct. So there's a movie I would suggest everyone see. It's called A Day Without Mexicans. It's a really good movie. So it's like all the Mexicans disappear. And it's like, what happens? It's really a good movie. So, but what I do see is a lot more people becoming more vocal about the rights of immigrants and how they too have worked to make America great.
They have.
That's right.
My daughter's half Mexican, and I have a lot of friends that are Mexican, and they're wonderful people, most loving people. And when I heard him say about them being rapists and drug addicts, and I suppose there's a few good ones, I got so many.
Disgusting.
Donald Trump
I do see
home party for things like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do see a lot of immigration reform coming.
A lot of it.
I don't know if it's in Biden's first year or second year. I feel like it might be toward the end of his first year, where it's going to be a lot easier for people that want citizenship. You have to think about it too. Since the pandemic, so many people have passed. A lot of people have retired. I think there were a lot of older people that were semi-retired that fully retired when when COVID hit. There's such a job shortage too. So we're going to need to get people in here to start helping, with getting those jobs back.
There's a labor shortage, right?
Yes.
I mean, they can't get people to wait on tables. You can't get people to work in grocery stores. It's like there's a labor shortage. And typically when there's a labor shortage, we import labor. Yep. And so I agree with you, Kevin. I see immigration reform in a positive way. I mean, what some of the repubes talk about is immigration reform. That's not immigration reform. That's racism.
Yeah.
But I see positive immigration reform. Okay, another one by Cynthia. Will the Supreme Court ever have term limits and rules of conduct? We've already talked about rules of conduct. That's a yes. What about term limits? What do you all think?
It's going to happen. It's a little whiles out, but there's going to be limits, I think, in Congress, and a whole bunch of rules changed with all of that. And I think even the presidency, I think we're going to put a lot of rules in place so that we don't ever have somebody like Trump as president again.
Yeah, I think this has taught us a huge lesson, and it has shown us and woke us up to what's wrong with our country and all of the corruption that we have in the Senate and Congress, and even up into the president. So I think that things are changing. So maybe Trump will have that one good thing. He opened our eyes to the corruption in the world by being so corrupt, I guess. But yeah, it'll change.
Well, I see
It's a little whiles out there, though.
Mm-hmm.
I see what's going to come to light is a lot more. My guides show me a lot more of the hypocrisy that's going on, and you know, that certain aspect of the Republican Party, and it's just gonna, the truth will come out, and it's gonna, you know, the truth is slow to come out, but when it does, it's gonna come out like, you know, stronger than an atomic bomb. It's gonna be strong. And it, you know, there'll still be people with conspiracy theories. Oh, it's fake, but you know, the stuff I see coming out, they're not going to be able to send out misinformation that it's not true. I mean,
No.
it's going to be huge. So anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, Rick L. Since Ukraine now has the upper hand, well, I wouldn't say they have the upper hand, but will Ukraine consent to allow Russia to keep any territory in addition to the Donbass region under their control? Do you see Ukraine eventually taking back these regions as well as Crimea sometime in the future? You know, my guides show me that Ukrainians will not give up. And at some point, I think the people in Crimea are going to start fighting back against the Russians. What I do see in the future is a united Ukraine, Donbass area, and Crimea included in that. What do you think, Kevin?
I see the same thing.
Okay.
I agree. I don't see them allowing Russia to take more land like they did with Crimea. And I do think the time will come when, you know, Crimea is returned, and they have their, you know, that's their rebuilding and everything.
Okay, Deanne, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to give them offers, but they're ungrounded offers. They're not true. You know, they're telling them, well, if you give us half of this, well, but then they'll just take the other half. You know, you give them half, you can't trust them. You know, and it, again, empty offer. You know, it's an empty offer, and it's the Ukrainians have a lack of faith. They don't believe anything that those Russians are telling them. So I don't think they're going to give anything up, not voluntarily.
I don't see it either. Okay, Mary Larson, this is a really good question. A Trump judge acquitted a man who was at the January 6th uprising because the judge thought it was okay for the man to be there. Well, others get away with this. I just want to touch on this one because my guides just put a light bulb on in my head. By this Trump judge doing this judge thought that he would set a legal precedent in case law so that when other people that were at the insurrection are brought to court, that their defense attorneys can argue this case and saying that the man was acquitted because the man had a right to be there. It won't work. You know, at some point, the judge that did that, I see him off the bench. Yay. All right. I do see some judges will be lenient, but there's going to be a lot of judges who are going to be tough with these people. So, I mean, I guess it was okay to be there, but it wasn't okay to storm the Capitol and destroy property and hurt people. So this judge is going to be in deep water as far as I'm concerned. But my guides just showed me what that judge was trying to do, but it won't work. It won't settle.
I feel like
law.
I feel like they might appeal it too. They might appeal his decision.
If you're acquitted, you can't appeal it because you've been acquitted. Like if a judge finds me not guilty of something, I'm not guilty. The prosecution then cannot appeal that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't see it working out in the long run though for others.
I don't either. What about you, Deanne?
Well, I got the Ace of Swords. The truth is going to come out about all the things that they did, and they're not going to be able to move forward. They're going to be asking for forgiveness. You know, I did this for my country. You know, I thought I was doing what the president told me to do, but they're not going to. They've got the 8 of Cups in reverse. They're not going to be able to move on. And they are going to be, I got the King of Pentacles in reverse. They're going to lose a lot of money and they're going to be unsuccessful. You know, they're going to have a lot of legal fees. But yeah, they're not going to be successful. I also got at the bottom of the deck the Eight of Cups. So they're going to be very sad, those people, you know, that participated in that, because there is going to be consequences for that. I don't think that they're going to get off.
Okay, good. Okay, Kathy Williamson has another one. It's something about, she says she enjoys when we're on. Thank you, Kathy. She said Matt Gaetz voted against insulin price decrease. And then it says, will this have something? And the rest of it's cut off. But I see the price of insulin coming down.
Me too.
My guides show me. And what it's, I think, Deanne, didn't you say Matt Gaetz said, just tell them to go on a diet?
Lose weight. Yeah, tell them just to lose weight.
Well,
There are babies that are born with diabetes, you know, not
Wait.
everybody's overweight.
At some point, Matt Gaetz is going to be diabetic.
It always comes back.
Insulin dependent diabetic. So when that happens, geez, I wonder if he'll lose weight.
I don't know. And you don't know somebody's circumstances. You know, I have medications, and some of the medications can cause you. Some people are on steroid medications cause.
Well, juvenile diabetics. I mean, come on. They're
exactly.
But losing weight has nothing to do with it.
It's something that's keeping people alive. It's not like it's some luxury thing, and they all voted against it. That should right there tell them something about the Republican Party.
Right.
Well, you know, the Democrats need to grow a backbone and start blasting that all of the Republicans voted against lowering their insulin, and maybe, and you know, keep doing votes that are going to help with, you know, help with inflation and everything. And, you know, as the Republicans keep voting no for it, keep blasting them and putting it on the airs. That's what they need to do to get their base out.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with that. You know, here again, you know, if one of those Republicans like Matt Gaetz were diabetic, they would be the first screaming about prices to come down.
Yes, they would.
And you know, they're anti-abortion, but I think, Deanne, there's somebody tonight was saying before our show, we talked, and it was like there was a politician whose mistress or girlfriend got pregnant, and he told her to have an abortion. Oh,
the same week that he made the bill, same week.
I know. So a lot of the hypocrisy, my guides show me the truth will come out. Okay. So we've got time for a few more and then we're done. All right. Well, not just done for tonight. Oh, this is a good one. So Karen Steinius asked, will Medicare start paying for dental care? And my guides tell me, yes, at some point it will.
Is what going to pay for dental care?
A couple years off.
Medicare.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay. All right. Claudia Altamirano asked, I'm in New Jersey and can't wait to start planting flower seed in my garden as soon as Mr. Winter gets out of here. Good, Claudia, I want you to plant some sunflowers for the people in Ukraine.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to plant some in my little backyard. I got a little townhouse and put some.
My daughter has some. Yep.
Okay.
I'm excited to do some gardening too.
What is Putin's daughter's position about the invasion of Ukraine? I think she lives in Switzerland. I'm sure she doesn't like it either. My guides tell me she doesn't like it.
No, she's not happy about it.
He has two daughters, and one of them is very much against, very scared, and I feel like the other one, kind of goes with their fathers more, doesn't really care, but one of them is not happy about it.
Okay, we'll do two more questions. Is that okay with you all? Maybe three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rebecca Mercer asked, hi, Mel. Hi, Rebecca. Since Russia was suspended from the Human Rights Council today, and it was with United Nations, and they're going to get suspended from other things. Do you see them being suspended from the United Nations? You know, I don't know the ruling if they can suspend somebody from the UN, but they're clearly breaking the rules. And my guys show me that there's a lot more suspensions coming for Russia within the UN. Yes, that's what I see.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I agree. And And I also see, Russia in trouble for a lot of war crimes and with Ukraine being
Yeah,
charged with that, and that could go for it.
Yeah, I got that they got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, so they're gonna have some bad luck, and yeah, there's gonna be some revenge. People are angry about what they did to Ukraine, and there will be judgment. I don't know when it will be, but there will be judgment, and there will be a success on the part of the UN. But I think, yeah, they're gonna probably get rid of them.
Okay, Sharon Donnelly asked, congratulations, Mel. Oh, because I got 15,000. Okay. What is Chief Justice Roberts thinking and doing about Clarence and Jenny Thomas? Well, my guides tell me that Chief Justice Roberts has had it.
No, he's not happy.
Oh, no, he's not happy at all. The Supreme Court's being very quiet about it, and I think they should, because if there's more investigations coming, and I do see Clarence Thomas under investigation, then they can't really say anything publicly. And here's why. Because if it came to the Supreme Court, then they'd have to recuse themselves because they've already made a public statement about it. That's what my guides show me.
I feel like what justice were they talking about? Not Clarence Thomas. I feel like he did talk to Clarence Thomas about it and how he should have recused himself. He made it clear that he wasn't happy about it. But really, what all can he do, about the situation either, But he wasn't happy about it.
Deanne, what do you think?
Well, I got that he's upset about it. It's a big burden for him, and he's been trying to kind of look the other way a little bit. I mean, he hasn't really dealt with it yet, but he's going to be getting. It says that there is some. He's got the 3 of Hearts in reverse, so I think that there's going to be some pain of that let go. He thinks that he is arrogant. He thinks that he is reckless. Is how he feels about it. And he's impatient, and he wants them out. So I don't know if he will be. The pendulum wasn't giving me; it was just giving me a maybe. But I think he does want him out.
He does. Okay, David Cadmus says DeSantis or DeSatan is going up against Disney. Will Mickey and the gang throttle him? And my guides tell me the answer to that is yes, he's going to get throttled because Disney has a lot of money, and they're not going to send any money into the DeSatan campaign. They'll put money into the opposition. So you don't mess with a big company that large, and you just don't. Will he be voted out in November? I see DeSatan gone, thank goodness.
Yeah, I do too.
So he just shot himself in the foot. One more thing, then we're done. Kevin, you brought up something about Bragg. I think he's the Attorney General in New York that was investigating that, that took over and then stopped the investigation. But we had predicted that investigation would start up again. And Kevin, did you tell me it started up again or something?
Yeah, I heard today that that they said that they were going ahead with the investigation because I think that it was kind of up in the air. He was trying to halt it. But I had Bragg was being blackmailed and he got some kind of money to kind of try to, stop that investigation. But I saw it still going through, and I still do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think so too, because he got the 7 of Swords, so he was dishonest. He was trickery, lies. He's a liar. He was given money. I got that the 6 of Pentacles. So yeah, he was given some money for what he did, but he made a bad choice. He got the Fool in reverse. He made a bad choice, and so yeah, I think he's gonna get caught on that. I think everybody knows what he did.
Well, on his behalf, I do. I'm not taking up for him, but he just said he thought that it was a weak case, and so I think there's a part of him that wanted to be a strong enough case if they took it to court that they could have a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another side that didn't look too savory. Mm-hmm. And so, what I just said, that maybe he'll use that, my guides tell me, as his defense. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
And I get that it's going to go forward.
Right, it will. Oh, this has been so much fun. Everybody, this was all for entertainment purposes only. We have to clarify that. So Kevin, how do they get a hold of you?
You can subscribe to my channel at Kevin Loving Vibrations, and my email is kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com.
Okay. And Deanne?
My channel name is Deanne Shield Maiden Tarot, and you can get a hold of me by Deanne with S, Deanne Shield Maiden Tarot @gmail.com, and it's in the About section, and I've got it in the description box.
And Deanne is doing readings. You do hour sessions, correct, Deanne?
Mm-hmm.
So does Kevin, and so do I. All right. So next week I'll be on Kevin's channel, right?
Yes, and I'm going to have Sheila and Angel Feather join us.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, can I just say something, Mel, real quick before you go on? I was reading after our last time we worked together, seeing some comments. People were asking if I wear my hoodie, if there was like a special reason for it, because I always wear a hoodie. My studio space is in my basement, so it's a little chilly, and plus I like to hold on to some crystals, and so they fit in my hoodie pocket pretty good. But anyway, so you can be the Aloha shirt psychic, and I'll be the hoodie psychic.
I was just thinking that Kevin, the hoodie psychic, and Mel the
Well, now I got to get something. I got to get a.
Yeah.
People ask me about why I wear Aloha shirts. Well, Aloha in Hawaii means hello, goodbye. It also means love. But I've been going to the islands for years, and my Hawaiian friends give me Aloha shirts. My cousin gave me this one in Kentucky. Her husband had one. I got to have that shirt. And she sent me.
Love it.
Is it flamingos?
Yeah. So I always wear my Aloha shirts when I'm doing shows. In the summertime, I always wear them. It's kind of cold right now. And when people get readings, when I'm at my office and I'm doing virtual readings, they go, "Where's your Aloha shirt?" I'm going, "Well, the summer, but it's for my YouTube." So anyway. So the hoodie psychic, I like that.
Yes.
Kevin's hoodie tarot.
I'm gonna have.
I like to be comfortable.
Oh,
I have my sweats on too.
So do I.
I do too.
So do I. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys,
for
hang
letting me
on just
come
a
on.
second while I turn the recording off, and we'll talk a little
Bye,
bit.
everyone.
Everybody
Okay.
stay well. Namaste. And give Kevin a call and give Deanne a call and visit their channels.